You're watching NTC News, DeKalb County's only television news source, on the campus of Northern Illinois University and from the Northern Television Center. This is NTC News Tonight.
The price of smoking marijuana in DeKalb is going down. Good evening, I'm Lindsay Diehl, and thank you for joining us.
And I'm Kelly Marchall. Penalties for marijuana possession in Illinois have lowered over the past year. NTC reporter Jeremy Dunk has more on what it means to NIU students.
Marijuana is the most common illegal drug in the United States. Because of this, DeKalb has lowered the fine for getting caught with small amounts. If caught with less than 2.5 grams, you can now mail in a $350 ticket. You can still go to court, but it will cost you $750 plus court fees. Last year, 333 cases involved less than 2.5 grams. The city believes getting rid of these cases would benefit the individual and free up the court system.
It's really a tool for the punishment or the charge to fit the crime. And in essence, it decriminalizes small amounts of cannabis.
Groups such as NORML and the Students for Sensible Drug Policy have been pushing to reduce fines and legalize the drug for years. The SSDP actually used to have a group here at NIU, but the group is no longer active. The former faculty advisor, Carrie Birch, does say the group would have been sympathetic to the action DeKalb has taken. Not everyone is in favor of these laws, though. Specialists at the DeKalb Prevention and Education Program say the drug is not as safe as people think.
People are finding ways to make the drug more potent, and that makes it more marketable amongst users. But the effects on the body are, much worse.
People think the effects of marijuana are the same as alcohol, but the lasting effects are more serious.
Well, alcohol contains one ingredient, ethanol, whereas marijuana contains over 400 ingredients.
So will the drug eventually be legalized? That answer still remains in a cloud of smoke. From DeKalb, Jeremy Dunk, NTC.
Colorado and Washington will be the guinea pigs to see how legal marijuana plays out.
16 others have legalized it medicinally. While it was shot down last year in Illinois in 2012, it may be up for vote again in 2013.
Sycamore snowmobiler is in the hospital after being stranded in the cold for hours on Saturday morning. Richard Sims flipped in his snowmobile around 2 a.m. and wasn't found until 5 hours later. The search began when Sims called his parents and they told the police he was missing. But it wasn't until an oncoming train crashed into his snowmobile that authorities were able to locate him. He was airlifted to a hospital in Rockford. He is currently listed in critical condition.
DeKalb firefighters are investigating a fire that broke out this morning in an apartment on Normal Road. Police blocked off the street as firefighters safely secured the area. The fire started in a second-story apartment. Fire Chief Eric Hicks explains how personnel responded to the fire. As of now, no injuries have been reported.
Getting your unemployment benefits in DeKalb is going to get harder. That's because beginning in March, there will no longer be a state unemployment office here in DeKalb. Ours is in one of 7 offices across the state, shutting its doors as part of a $7 million budget cut. That means if that has to do business with the Department of Employment and the person you make the 25-mile trip to Aurora.
Strikes continue as Illinois' carpenters fight for local jobs. The Chicago Regional Council of Carpenters, Local 790, is protesting the construction of a Hampton Inn hotel on the corner of Annie Glidden and Taylor near Schnucks. Workers from Arkansas are being hired by R&B Construction despite having willing workers from DeKalb. The Local 790 stated that it's hard for Illinois carpenters to compete because of the higher cost of living. Strikers took a year to organize for this protest, and they aren't sure how long it will last.
DeKalb resident Dacia Hensley was sentenced to 14 years in prison last week. She was charged with selling methadone and drug-induced homicide when one of her customers overdosed and died on methadone that she supplied last July.
The man accused of stabbing Northern Illinois University's linebacker Devon Butler has pleaded guilty and was sentenced to 2 years in prison. 25-year-old Freddie Sparks Ward from DeKalb and Devin Butler were involved in an off-campus fight in July of last year. Butler suffered only a minor injury and is currently fine, but was released from the team.
If you're thinking about parking your car illegally is worth the risk, you might want to think again, because towing fees increased under a new DeKalb City ordinance. Drivers will face a $75 fine for parking illegally in a public space and up to a $170 fine if the space is privately owned. DeKalb police say steep towing charges act as a deterrent to crime.
DeKalb residents should be aware of new parking bans on snow days. Signs on roadways are prohibiting parking when snowfall is more than 2 inches. Cars are subject to tickets or towing if they are parked in restricted areas. Tickets will range from $25 to $75. Residents are asked to move their cars from all city streets until plowing is complete. The bans will be lifted once the snow is removed.
Residents near Kiwanis Park were able to save the park's land from developers, but the future of the land is still unclear. Current plans for Kiwanis Park remains unknown after the failed land swap with Shodine Real Estate Company for land near DeKalb High School. The park district is still not working to purchase Kiwanis Park. Although plans for the park's future are not solid, residents still express their excitement and attend park district meetings.
About human development versus the balance with the natural world, and I just heard that some land has changed hands here in the county, and I'm hopeful that it will remain at least open space for recreation.
The park district is still creating financial plans for the purchase in the near future.
A proposal to expand the county landfill sparks a heated debate at a Cortland Township meeting. Some residents at the meeting cited a statute in the Illinois Environmental Protection Act that gives townships more authority than county governments in landfill decisions. DeKalb County has already voted in favor of Waste Management's plan to expand the landfill into several areas, including a plot only a quarter-mile away from a local elementary school. Angry residents posted signs and have formed groups such as Stop the Mega Dump in an attempt to preserve the area.
Is the future generations. It also has to do with preserving our beautiful land that we have here.
Residents will meet again in April to take an official vote.
Just because it's winter in DeKalb doesn't mean the drought for northern Illinois is over. Despite the recent rain and the snow, the USDA says DeKalb County is still a moderate drought. The lack of rain has been hard for DeKalb farmers, with cornfields down as much as 34%. Farmers are doing whatever they can do this year to make more profitable. DeKalb farmer Roger Favre uses corn and soybean hybrids to help his crop survive.
Hybrids, corn hybrids that are a lot more defensive, that have real good disease packages, that helps ward off some of the effects of dry weather.
With the help of hybrids in the crop field rotation, farmers hope to make this season a more profitable one.
Before we go any further, let's take a look at our weather window for today and tomorrow.
Nicole, Gill is here with the weather. How's it looking out there?
Well, guys, as you can feel, it was a really windy day out there today and a little bit chilly as well. Our wind chill values were as low as 14 degrees. Now that's how cold it really feels like. Now we have some video footage of the winds out there. I mean, trees are blowing. You could see the grass. We had gusts up to 44 miles per hour, and we had a wind advisory for most of the day. That's lifted now. Now all the winds will start to decrease as we go through tomorrow, and our temperatures tomorrow are looking just fabulous as well. Temperatures across the area will be in the mid to upper 30s, mostly sunny skies. It's looking pretty nice out there. For more on your sunny forecast, stick with us. We'll be right back.
Oh, sweetheart. Gonna give you a hand?
No thanks, Dad. I got it.
Okay. I'm gonna go fix the lamp in your room.
You don't have to be perfect to be a perfect parent. There are thousands of children in foster care who will take you just as you are.
Welcome back. We had a high of 38 degrees out there. That was set back at 12:30 this morning, so temperatures just kept dropping as the day went on. Now looking at our radar, storms down to the south, but hey, here in DeKalb, we may see some flurries, but that's really nothing to worry about. Now, as for the winds though, tonight these isobars are expanding, so that's decreasing our winds. So definitely you're going to feel a lot of difference by tomorrow, and especially with this high sitting over our area, it's going to bring us some sunnier weather, and it's just going to be pretty nice for the next couple of days. For tonight, there's those winds starting to decrease down to 20 to 30 miles per hour, low about 21, so not too bad, a little bit chilly though. As we go through tomorrow, winds dropping down even more, 10 to 15 miles per hour. So as I'm saying, it's looking pretty nice out there. Tomorrow night, a little bit chilly though, 25 degrees, and winds are finally calming down to about 5 to 10 miles per hour. Now looking at our 5-day forecast, 40 degrees on Wednesday. Oh, that looks gorgeous. Definitely go out and enjoy the day. And Thursday as well. It's looking pretty nice. But as we go through the weekend, temperatures are dropping to near 25 and 19 degrees on Saturday. On a positive note, it's going to be sunny across the week. That's all for weather. Let's send it back to the desk.
Two people are in for questioning in connection with the shooting of Pendleton.
And the CTA is taking measures to make the riding train safer. These are today's state lines.
Investigators in Chicago say two people are in custody as persons of interest in connection with last month's shooting death of a 15-year-old girl on the city's south side. No charges have been filed in the case of Pendleton. First Lady Michelle Obama attended Pendleton's funeral on Saturday.
The Chicago Transit Authority is hoping to catch more crime on camera. The CTA has begun a 7-month project to install high-definition cameras on about 850 rail cars. The project designed both deter crime and help police investigate crimes.
Early voting began today in the race to replace former Illinois Congressman Jesse Jackson Jr. Voters in the state's 2nd congressional district can cast early ballots through the end of next week. The primary is that following Tuesday.
Governor Pat Quinn says Illinois residents should be able to register to vote online. Supporters of the plan say online registration would make the process simpler and attract millennials. Republicans say the support of the idea, but think the state should instead focus on fixing the worst in the nation, pension crisis. And those were today's state lines. The Pope is stepping down at the end of the month.
And Los Angeles is on a massive manhunt to find a former police officer. This is today's World Watch.
Stunning news from the Vatican. Pope Benedict is stepping down at the end of the month. The Vatican says Benedict told the cardinals of the Catholic Church today that he was resigning because of advanced age. Benedict is 85 and will turn 86 on April 16th. He was elected Pope in 2005. The last Pope to resign was Gregory XII in the year 1415. He did it to end the civil war inside the church, in which more than one man claimed to be the Pope.
The city of Los Angeles is putting up $1 million in reward for help catching Christopher Dorner. Dorner is the ex-cop accused of killing 3 people in a revenge plot. And he's the target of one of the largest manhunts in the history of Southern California. He claims he was wrongfully fired from his job. He challenged his firing in court and lost.
3 people were killed today in a shooting at the courthouse in Wilmington, Delaware. The gunman killed his estranged wife, another woman, and then took his own life. 2 police officers were injured when they exchanged fire with the gunman.
Carnival Cruise Line says passengers are calm even though an engine fire has left the ship Triumph drifting without power in the Gulf of Mexico. Tugboats are making their way to the ship about 150 miles off the Yucatan Peninsula. There are more than 3,000 passengers and 1,100 crew members on board. And that's today's World Watch.
Welcome to NTC Sports. I'm Eli Gehn. The wrestling team had their final home meet of the season on Friday. That means it was senior night for the Huskies, but there was only one senior who was honored at the Convo Friday night, Arbor Bebo. Bebo and the Huskies went against Northwestern, and it didn't end well for NIU. The Wildcats got off to a great start, winning their first 3 matches. They would end up winning comfortably 36-6. Bebo, he was the second to last match. He lost that 5-0 in the 197-pound weight class. losing to Alex Polizzi. With only a few meets left in the year, the senior is starting to realize his wrestling career is close to being over.
I mean, it's kind of sad. It's my last meet at school, so I didn't realize it until today that I would miss wrestling and that there's only 3 more meets in the season. So
I think it's a big thing for Arbor. You know, these guys give so much to the program. They train so hard day in and day out, and I'm talking about 365 days a year. So to honor them, I think is the least we could do, but it was very nice to see him go out and compete for his team versus a Big Ten squad.
The Huskies basketball teams have been playing a lot at the Convo over the last month, especially on the weekends, but this past weekend they both took the road. The men's team fell short to Buffalo on Saturday 59-54. The Huskies shot 61% from the field in the first half, and in the second half, NIU had a chance to tie the game with 15 seconds remaining, but a three-pointer rimmed out, clinching the game for the Bulls. The women's team took down the struggling Golden Flashes 52-47. Satavia Taylor sat out this game, and Amanda Corral stepped up for the Huskies, having a game-high 18 points. Now, 27 years, that is the last time NIU walked out with a win at Kent State, so a long time coming. From college to the pros, Nate Robinson and the Bulls traveled to Utah on Friday. Robinson playing like a big man, finishes off the play here, getting his own board. He's got a flex for the crowd there. Big boy, Bulls up 6. The Jazz looked like they were going to run away with it in the fourth. Here's Al Jefferson. He had a game-high 32 points. And Carlos Boozer, he returned to Utah. Didn't receive a lot of cheers from the fans, but Chicago fans cheered him on after he tied it up there. Bulls up by 3 with 16 seconds. Millsap misses the game-tying shot. Bulls pull off the 4-point win. And the Blackhawks are off to their greatest start in franchise history. You thought all the fans were getting spoiled with that 3-0-0 start. Well, now they're 9-0-2, 11 games, 0 losses in regulation. The Hawks finishing off their 6th straight road game last night against Nashville. Hawks on the attack in the second period, not a lot in the first. And Marcus Kruger sneaks it by Pekka Rinne. That's a nightmare on Elm Street you can like if you're a Hawks fan. Just a minute later, Jonathan Toews, the captain. Oh, captain, my captain, gets the rebound. Hawks double their lead 2-0. And pretty boy Patrick Kane, more like party boy Patrick Kane, continues his hot streak. This is his 9th goal of the season. Hawks get their first shutout since 2011. 12 straight games now without a loss in regulation. They win it 3-0. And for today's play of the day, the key word is sharing. That's what happened over the weekend when Syracuse played St. John's. Off the St. John's miss in the second half, Michael Carter-Williams, he's going to share with James Sutherland. He's going to share with Brandon Trish, who throws down the dunk. He loves it. Good things happen when you share, folks. The Orange pick up their 37th home win, and most importantly, they get the win for our play of the day. And that's all with sports. Let's send it back to the desk with Lindsay and Kelly.
Thank you, Eli. Coming up, the year of the snake has arrived in Asia. We'll explain.
A boy born in Joplin, Missouri was fascinated by anything with wheels and a motor. The odds of him winning both the Daytona 500 and the Brickyard 400 in the same year? 1 in 195 million. The odds of a child being diagnosed with autism? 1 in 88. I'm Jamie McMurray, and my niece has autism. Learn more at autismspeaks.org/signs.
The party has started across much of Asia.
Millions of people are welcoming in the year of the snake. It is Lunar New Year in China and other Asian countries, and the celebrations are only underway. Fireworks lit up the sky in Beijing over the weekend, and at midnight on the first day of the first month in China's traditional lunar calendar, a tradition that Chinese people have been following for centuries. Celebrations last around 2 weeks.
NTC News Tonight is produced and directed by students here at Northern Illinois University. We want to thank you all for being here with us.
Enjoy the rest of your evening. NTC News Tonight will return on Wednesday. Thanks for watching.
Goodbye.